The wildfire veered off course when the howling, screaming wind quickly changed directions and was now burning every tree and thing in its path as it finally became visible on the top of the giant hill behind the town. This fire was so high and wide and bright and hot that it lit up the night sky like crazy. As I was rushing back and forth, packing my friend's car with the pets and other important things, the sheriff pulled up on the street and shouted through his speaker for all the residents to evacuate immediately and that there was no more time to pack. So we all got in the car, fastened our seatbelts, and drove away from the home and turned down the hill to begin our escape from a scene that looked like something straight out of a disaster escape action suspense movie like Dante's Peak, for example. But this was my real frickin' life. It was surreal, especially since I was high on a combination of crystal meth, red wine, and painkillers at the time. As we drove down the street, we saw something so crazy I'll never forget it. A horse had become scared and fallen in the commotion to escape the wildfire. A man, who I believe was the owner, was trying to help the horse. But then, whoosh! In a lightning-fast instant, the horse pulled off the coolest martial arts type maneuver and jumped onto its feet again, all in one crazy whoosh, almost kicking the man in his head in the process, but narrowly missing his face by inches. It was very scary. And then we all cheered when the horse made it safely into the trailer and they drove away. Here's the short version of this addiction, eviction, incarceration, evacuation story that I literally experienced all in 2 weeks. 2 weeks before the 2007 California wildfires, I was living in San Diego, California, a block away from the beach, with my roommate Ricky, and the drummer of my band, Nick, was living with us and sleeping on the couch. We had been sent an eviction notice for non-payment of rent. We didn't have rent that month because we spent all our money on alcohol and other drugs. When it came time for us to be out of the house, we had slept through the alarm clock in the morning, and I woke up to the sound of loud banging on the front door. Oh no, I thought. We slept in and now they're here. I quickly got up and answered the door, where I greeted the property manager, who did not look happy, and 2 police officers. After we answered a few quick questions, I thought we were free to go, so we began to leave. Just as I started to walk out of the house toward the street, a cop asked to see our IDs first. Oh no. When he gave back the IDs to my roommates first, but not me, I knew I was screwed. Then, when he said, "Matt, put your hands behind your back," I knew exactly why. The cop stated, "You're under arrest because there's a warrant out for you." After asking for what, he confirmed my belief, and I was being put in jail and locked away because San Diego Superior Court issued a warrant for failing to complete the DUI program after getting my second drunk driving charge within 2 years. Fortunately, I only had to rot away in jail for less than a week. After being released, it felt awesome to be free and smell the fresh air and feel the warm sun soak into my skin. Since I was homeless now, I called my former roommates to see where they were staying. After getting picked up and brought to where they were staying, we came up with a new game plan. Unfortunately, that ended up in the wildfire evacuation shortly after. To make a long story short, in the span of just 2 weeks, I was addicted, evicted, incarcerated, and then evacuated. We were staying at a friend's house in Ramona, California, a week after I was released from incarceration when the wildfires began. For me, it had been a long summer of severe alcohol and other drug addiction, then home eviction, then jail incarceration, then the wildfire evacuation, where we narrowly escaped, and then homelessness yet again. My friend Nick, who was also the drummer of my band, moved back to New York to stay at his folks' house, and 1 week later, I moved to New York to live with Nick and his parents, and we continued to play music together. And with that being said, thanks so much for listening. Like and subscribe for more stories. And if you have a crazy story like this, post it in the comment box below. I'd love to read it. Oh yeah, and one final thing. I am not artificial intelligence. You know what? And I'm starting to get really mad. I really am. I keep seeing all these comments that this sounds like AI. Well, you know what?
I'm not an AI, I promise. I'm a real boy. I'm a real boy. I'm authentic intelligence, I promise. Subscribe.